Hey, what's up? This is Anwyll, and this is a tutorial on my chord melody arrangement of Jingle Bells. The first thing I did was I established all the possible chords in the key of G major, since we are dealing with the key of G major. So what are the chords? We got G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D7, E minor, and then F sharp diminished, or F sharp minor 7 flat 5. And then I usually start with ideas from the chart itself. So I gather what's the harmony of the chart, and then I look at how I can incorporate additional chords if need be. So the melody starts like this. So that's the first 4 bars. So if we have to look at the harmony for the first 4 bars, the first 3 bars is a G major chord. And then in the 4th bar, the harmony changes to a C major. So to harmonize the first bar, I took the D note, which D is in the chord of G major. So I kept that G major 7 chord. And then the next note is a B, which is also a note of G major. So I found another way to play G major using only the first 4 strings. G major 7. And then for that A note, so it's A is not a note of G major. So what I decided to do there is to bring in the 5 chord and play this inversion of it, and then I resolve to G major 7 again, which is an inversion of G major 7. So I got the F sharp in the top in the bass note, which then resolves in the 2nd bar to the D again. So the first 5 beats is like this. And then that phrase repeats itself. So I took the chart's C major suggestion there, which nicely lands on the E note of a C major chord. And then the 5th measure goes like this. So we can start with the C major again, because it's got the E note. And then it goes to a C above the E, which is here. So we can then use a C major chord inversion, C major 7 chord inversion. So that B in the 3rd beat gives us options. We can use a C major chord again, but what I decided to do was to change the harmony and use the E minor instead, because B is the 5th of E. And then the A melody note, I used D minor for that. A again is the 5th of D minor. And then the melody resolves onto the F, which is not a resolution, but that melody line sort of comes to a rest on that F sharp, and it's more of a comma for the next phrase. So what we can potentially aim for a good comma is, because that's the F sharp, that's the leading note, we can use the 5, or what I did was I used the 7, which is the F sharp minus 7 flat 5. So looking at the measures 5 to 6, it's like this: C major 7, C major 7, D minor, no, E minor, going to D minor, and then resting on the F sharp minus 7 flat 5. And then we've got so what I did there was in measures 7 and 8, I did a 5-1 cadence. So I used a D7 inversion, D7 inversion, D7 inversion, and then resolving on the G major chord. So let's play that phrase again, or let's play it from the top to this point. G major 7, G major 7, D7, G major 7, G major 7. Phrase repeats itself, land on the C7, C major 7, C major 7, E minor, D minor, F sharp minus 7 flat 5, D7, and then we resolve that with a G major chord. So the next 8 bars is just pretty much a repeat of that. And let's take it from the refrain. If we have to look at the harmony of the refrain, the first 4 measures is a G major chord, and then in the 5th measure it goes to a C major, and then it returns to a G major, and then the next bar is an A major with that C sharp right there, and then it goes to the 5. So that A major is an anomaly because A major is not in the key of G major, since we're expecting an A minor. So that's why that accidental is there. But let's try to, so we know that B, the B note, is in the G major chord. And D is also a note in the G major chord. So the melody goes like this: B, 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 D. In the interest of economical playing, I use this voicing of G, and here's the B note down here. And then the D note is underneath that, so I can hold one chord note, but now the trick lies in your right hand. And then it changes, it goes to the G, to an A, back to B. What I did there was 7 inversion, and then to go to the A note, I basically played an A minor chord because I'm holding down the A note, I'm holding down the E and the C, and then I resolve back to the G, emphasizing on the B melody note. So let's play that phrase again. And then the song continues. So what I did there was I used the C major, which is the 4th, and then I went to the 1, and then I did a 5-1. So I did 4, 1, 1, 5, 1, 5. So remember, this is the D7 chord inversion. And then the refrain repeats. And then generally every piece ends with a 5-1 cadence. As we can see, the melody is calling for this. And then that's resolution to the 1. So I did D7, D7 inversion, D7 inversion, 1. So let's check that refrain again. D7, 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 and then I used a triad for resolution. So I think what's important here is firstly a bit of knowledge of your scales, and then when you harmonize the scales you can figure out what chords are in the key, and then you can use the score as the initial inspiration for the harmony, but then you can then harmonize any melody note with a chord of your choosing. I think it's also helpful to work out chord inversions on the guitar. So for example, you'll know that this is the G major 7 chord. G major is also up here. G major is also up there. This is also G major 7 chord. So all these chords and the inversions gives you more options when trying to harmonize a melody note. Yeah, that's all for today. If you like this video, please subscribe. I'm also on other social media. The links will all be below. I appreciate you taking time out to follow what I do. Thanks for watching. See you soon.